So guys, welcome back to another photo review video. I'm gonna switch it around a little bit. So for the last 5 videos, the photo reviews I've made, I've been specifically and very focused on stock photography. And I know that's kind of what caught your eye, but I'm gonna be changing things around a little bit. I'm gonna review your photograph as a photograph and then let you know if it would do well in stock photography. Because like I mentioned before, stock photography is a great way to start, but it's not everything out there in photography. So let's get started real quick. So the first photo I have here, this looks beautiful. It's like a wheat field and there's a California poppy, an orange poppy. It looks great. As far as a photo, it looks very good. I know I could tell it was with a wide angle because of how the corners are a little distorted, but that is fine. It looks like the photo is sharp. There might be a little bit of motion blur, but it looks good. As a photo, it looks great, and as a stock image, I think it would do fine. Something like this doesn't sell as much anymore because there's not really much of a concept or anything, but it's a great photo, and I think it would sell. Just not like over and over again. You know, like when we're talking about stock photography, there's photos that are gonna sell for over and over and thousands of times, and then there's photos that will sell one time here or one time there, and I think this is one of those because it's lacking that concept or idea. The composition is great. I like the flower here in the thirds, the grass, the blown out, the out of focus bits in the back, so I think it's a great image. It just doesn't have that sales potential that a good stock image has, but like I said, as a photo, it's a great picture. The next photo, I can see there's a little bit of blown out highlights. The photo in itself, it's fine. I don't know where it focused. Nothing looks like it's sharp. That might be the lens or that might be the camera settings. Let me look here. 1/25 of a second, 5.6, Tamron 70 to 300. I think what's happening here is the lens is just not very sharp and your photo is just it's a little soft. As far as a photo, the composition is nice. It's a good curve here leading towards the middle. That's up on the upper third, that's on the lower third. As far as stock photography, it's not going to get accepted because it's a little bit soft, and I believe that's because of the lens. Or it could have been the settings. Let me look one more time. What the shutter speed was 1/25. That you should be able to handhold at 1/25, but that's also hard at 70 millimeters. So maybe there's a little bit of motion blur. Maybe adding a little bit more of this rock here on that side just to give it more of a line. Those rocks would give it a little bit more of a line and continue the S curve that's here. So that would have improved the composition slightly, but as far as a photo, you're doing a great job. Keep going. It's just that for stock photography, that's not gonna get accepted because of technical issues, whether it's motion blur or just the lens it's just not sharp. I can't find anywhere where it's sharp. That is soft in the back. I think you try to focus here or in this rock, but because of it's just soft, it's not a sharp image, so if anybody buys it, they're not going to be able to use it. See, this is a good travel, a good stock photo. There's someone standing here on the third. The focus is sharp, it's good. Lighting is a little bit off and there's a lot of negative space here. As far as the stock photo, I say it would get accepted. I would bring down, show more beach and less of the sky. And this is something else to keep in mind too. When you do a photo, try doing multiple composition. You know, something like that with the beach, that could be, even if I go here, if I zoom in the lens or something, get something like that, maybe a little different composition, that would help for, let's say, a magazine cover, a cover, not always landscape. Try changing your composition. The processing might need a little bit of help just to make it pop a little bit. Let me add a little bit of contrast here and drop that. If I focus on if I select the sky with Lightroom, which makes it very easy, then I can just darken the sky or make it, that's a little bit too much. I don't want to go too blue or too dark. Let me fade that too, just because intersect the mask with a gradient. And drop that. So that's just some quick changes that I did. Let me go to before and after. So these are just some quick tweaks that I can't speak. These are just some quick tweaks that I did. I added a little bit more definition in the clouds. To me, that's a little bit more of a powerful image. But like I said, it's a great picture. It's a great stock photo because you're using someone just looking out of the thing. If she was running or doing yoga or doing something, that would be another element that would help you sell photos. So when you're out on location like this, just have the model do quite a few different poses, different things, stretching, whatever, on the beach, and that'll give you more images to submit and more images to sell. Very easy to keyword and describe, because they're same place, same area, same person. So that will definitely help you get more and more pictures. So the next photo, it looks like a great concept. There's a love triangle kind of thing. I'm seeing here in the sky and in the trees, there's some loss of detail. It's all in the bokeh, it's all in the background, so that might not be a problem. As far as composition, I would have cut that and added their hands, you know, just crop it, bring it down a little bit. This way you don't have that sky in there that's distracting, and you would have been able to see more of people's hands. I don't like to cut people's hands off in pictures. It just looks kind of weird. So just by bringing the camera down a little bit, you would have shown more of their hands and eliminate that distracting element. Yes, I know it's a stock photo, you want some negative space, but in this case, that's not enough. And there's not enough here. The way this photo would be used wouldn't be with text. There would be text on the side. So by bringing it down, you would have a little bit of a better composition, in my opinion. But it's a very good image regardless. So let me go back again and reset. I guarantee this photo will sell in stock because it is very well done. It's got a good concept. Like I said, to improve just slightly, I would bring the photo down, add their hands, and just make it more about the love triangle here. And again, keep in mind, if you do vertical, now you can have a full page in a magazine if there was a need for something like that. You know, again, different crops, or just changing your camera on the fly will help you get a completely centered image that could be used for multiple things. So let me reset here and go to the next photo. The next photo here is a bunch of pills on a wooden spoon, and these are concepts. These are things that will sell for stock photography. Now the focus is perfect. I don't see any logo, but there is a little hair here. I've had photos rejected because they had either my hair or the dog's hair on the picture. So be careful. Right here, there's a little bit of a hair. And then this pill here could have been cleaned up a little bit more. It's got some white grime and stuff. Again, I'm just picking because I want you to be able to sell photos and get more out there. So I'm just nitpicking on little things that I find. But the photo itself is great. The concept is perfect. The composition is awesome. This is on the bottom third. So there's text up there. That could be a full page. It's a great image. Like I said, just keep an eye for stray hairs. This one right here, it's the first thing I noticed. And let's see if I can add a little bit of, just make it pop a little bit more, maybe by adding some contrast and maybe bringing up some of the shadows and highlights. Now it went a little bit yellow. Let me drop the temperature. Let's see what that looks like. So this is just a little bit of contrast and just a couple of small tweaks. To me, it pops a little bit more. It makes it more in your face, and someone scrolling through photos, that one's gonna stand out more than this one. So again, just small tweaks. Keep an eye out for stray hairs, and you're doing an amazing job. So let's move on to the following image. All right, so this looks like a nighttime image. It is very noisy, and there's a boat here that's completely gone out in the blur. Let me just look here at the settings. So 13 seconds, f4, 200 ISO. You're doing pretty good capturing photos at night. I think, was that a star or something? Maybe, I don't know, something bright. But the problem is, for stock photography, that's not gonna sell. It doesn't have a concept. The composition is a little bit off. Maybe showing more of this rock here. Keep practicing at night. This is how you get better at it. If I show you some of my first pictures when I was taking pictures at night, you'd be like, they were terrible. And I'm not saying this is terrible, but you're starting out, or I think you're starting out. I think I remember emailing you and you were telling me that you were starting out and learning a little bit more. So keep doing it. Go out, take pictures. This is a good start. Compositionally, I would have liked to see the camera down a little bit to show more of this. And once you get better at it, take two separate pictures. One with a higher shutter speed for the boat, and one with the longer one, and then blend them together, so now you have your boat and your background, because that blur like that is not going to help you. As far as stock photography, I don't see any potential, because there's no concept, there's no idea, and it's a little bit dark, and the sky looks very grainy. There's some issues with the sky, which I don't know why, because the ISO is low. But as far as a photo, bringing the composition down, bringing the camera down a little bit to show this rock would improve it. And then, like I said, just a few tweaks here and there. I just don't see a strong concept for this one for stock. All right, so this next one, see, this is a little bit more balanced. There's 3 elements, 1, 2, 3. The leading lines, the focus looks sharp. It looks like it is a very good photo. It's sharp, it's good. As far as stock, it would get accepted. I just don't see a sales potential. But I could be wrong. I've sold things like this in the past. They just don't sell over and over and over again. You might get 1 to 10 sales, which is great. I mean, you're making some money with your photo. I think it would get accepted. As far as a photograph, it looks very well done. The composition is nice. I like the leading lines. Those two balance each other out, and that's another line. So I just added some contrast and a little bit of bright, and it just looks a little bit different. I don't think there's much more you can do with that photo. I think it looks great, and yeah, good job. Let's move on to the next one. Again, here we have the couple, the trio, the whatever this love triangle is, or just friends having a good time at a bar or a restaurant. It's a great photo, great concept. I think it would sell. If I remember correctly, I spoke to the photographer. I chatted back and forth email, and the photo has sold, and it's going to continue to sell because it is a great idea. It's a great concept. In my opinion, something that I would do to improve would be crop it or just bring the camera down again, because we're cutting a person's hand. I don't like cutting people's hands. If we bring it down, you would see a little bit more of the phone. You would get a little bit more of what's going on the table, and you would see, it would just give you a stronger composition, I believe. You're already cutting the door here, so it's not like you have these 3 in a straight line. By bringing it down, it focuses the attention. Even if I crop it like this, see, that's a little bit more centered. Now to me, that's a stronger photo. Even though I'm cutting his hand, that brings the attention right to the middle, and that's how I would use this photo. If I go all the way like it was, the full image, to me, it would improve by cropping it. It's a great photo, it's a great style, it's a great stock image. It would sell. It's got a concept, it's got a strong, good looking models, good looking people. It would sell, but to improve, I would have brought the camera just a little bit down to show more what's on the table. And that's, I think, all I have to say with this one. So let's move on to the following one. The next one is a set of 3, and these are 3 Christmas ornaments. The photos are very well done. They look fine. I've sold little things like this. They're overly done. Everyone's, because they're easy props. They're easy things to shoot. So this one here particularly looks a little bit warm. So let me bring that down a little bit to give it a better white balance. You can see just by dropping the temperature, it looks a little bit more neutral. That will help you sell it. Pictures like this are fine. The focus is good. It looks fine. This one has motion blur. Objects like this, and then this one here, you want to see more of the cane to make a stronger photo. They're fine. So to try to improve a little bit on the composition, this is right in the middle. That's cut and that's cut. So if you would have moved your camera to the right and up a little bit, you show that ornament and this one, and then that would have been in the bottom third. So that's leading lines. That's 3 elements that would make the image a stronger image. This one here, similar situation. If I crop it, just drop the camera, maybe get a little bit closer, you would make that ornament the center focus and not get all those distracting elements that are on the top. This one here, by turning or spinning this little ornament, you would have that one in the back and this one on the side with the full curve. So that's just idea, something to help you improve your composition. But as far as pictures, they're good, but they could improve a little bit. And for stock, I submit them, but I just don't know that they will sell as much as you would want to, or as much as I would want to. Next. All right, the next photos are strawberries. I did a video on how to do pictures of strawberries, and they're selling. So I am selling the photos. This one looks pretty good. The focus is sharp. The concept is good. Aperture of 5.6, ISO 100. It looks like a good photo. This strawberry here in the corner is a little distracting, so is that one. So if I just crop it a little bit, it would give me a stronger, less distracting composition, but that's fine. I would say submit it. Having that here in your front, that's a little bit, As far as the composition, taking that out, that thing out there, remove it, and then maybe putting this strawberry upside down so you don't have this ugly thing here, because you can't really see the other ones, but that one's right in the front. So that would help you a little bit. Submit it, and if it sells, great. I just don't see that it will sell that much. Even in a saturated market, you still have the ability to sell pictures. Let's just try to add another concept and keep an eye for things like that that just don't look that great in a photo. Next. All right, so this image here is at night. Again, keep practicing. It's a wet night, so there's reflections. There's different colors here. I see a lot of purple cast. That's from the light. The light was very bright. The camera settings are a little bit off. It looks like a wide angle lens or a kit lens. I don't have that information. Sony ILCE 6000. 24 megapixel photo, 30 seconds. Wow, 30 seconds. That's why the lights here are blown out. Everything is a little bit noisy. ISO 100, and there's small details here that look like they were recovered. For stock, it's not gonna do much. The photo it's not that great. When you go here in the corners, there's distorted elements. I don't know what the aperture was. As far as composition and as far as photograph, I like it. The leading lines and everything looks great in the photo, but we're leading to what? There's just an orb there from the light. So the composition, sky, great lines, great everything, but no subject. And this is something that, I mean, the whole scene looks pretty, and as far as the photo is great, but to make it a stronger image, you need a strong subject. So keep practicing, keep going. This looks great. It's not gonna get accepted for stock because technical issues. This here is just off, and there's some weird colors here, and down here the purple, the fringing is just not gonna get this picture accepted. I can remove some of that in Lightroom, but I don't have the raw image, so I can't. But again, the lines are great, the composition is strongish, but it could be improved with maybe more of this tree here, just to show more of the tree. Drop the camera a little bit, you wouldn't lose all those lines, and it would give you more of a subject. All right, so the next one is a set of 4 images, and I'm grouping these together because some people are sending me a lot of photos, and I'm fine with 1 or 2, but this is 4 raw images. These are all cactuses. They're all from the same area, same day, I believe. These are all from a Canon Rebel. This one is a little bit blurry. It's not sharp, so that's not gonna get accepted. So I'm not really gonna do much. I would crop it, or when I took the photo, see this bright thing here in the back? That's gonna maybe getting closer to the cactus top. That would help you a little bit. That would be a stronger image. But like I said, it's out of focus. It's not gonna work. It's a little blurry. This one here also, the focus should have been here in the front and not on the back flower. You can't really see that flower as well as you could this one. So that one missed focus. It's hard sometimes with cameras, and it is a little bit yellow, a little bright. I'm gonna add some contrast. Like I said, it's a raw image, so it hasn't been processed. And there we go. That would be a stronger composition if the focus was on this flower, which is not. So that's not gonna really do much. This next one, that's better. The focus, it looks blurred. Let me check on the shutter speed here. 640th is 28 to 135. That might be a lens issue. It looks a little blurry. The shutter speed should be fine to handhold, but nothing is really sharp. And that might be the lens. What lens is it? It's a 28 to 135. It's just not sharp, so that the focus missed. That's not gonna get accepted, and it's not going to sell really. And again, the photo's a little warm. If we bring it back down, add some contrast like that, and then crop it just slightly. Again, to improve the photo or improve the composition and make the subject. I've sold a lot in Adobe stock of cactus flower, and sadly this one's not in focus. Next photo. All right, here's another one, and I see it. So there's a little bit of focus here on this flower, but everything else is not, and there's a hair right here. So again, these are not gonna do that great. The idea is good, focusing on flowers, doing this stuff. To me, they tend to sell quite a bit. Like I said, some of the cactus flowers I did in Arizona a few years ago continue to sell on a weekly basis, and they made me quite a bit of money. Sadly, this Rebel T5i with that lens doesn't seem to be connecting that well, because there's a lack of sharpness, or something's missing on these photos, and I can't really pinpoint on what it is. Check your gear. Maybe it might be time for an upgrade, because it's just not sharp, and that if you're trying to sell for stock, these are not gonna help you make more money. I'm making a video soon about the best cameras, or cameras that I recommend, so stay tuned. Maybe Wednesday or next Sunday I'll try to put that out. It's a long video because there's a lot of cameras and there's a lot of things to recommend. The Rebel T5i is a great camera, but if we're trying to make some money with this gear, we need to improve the quality of the gear that we're using. Like I said, I started with the Rebel T1i when I started stock, and I didn't really start to see real numbers until upgraded to the Canon 7D. And I still sell pictures every day from the Canon 7D, so having the right gear is definitely going to help. Like I said, again, thank you for sending these photos, but sadly these are not going to get accepted and they're not going to sell because of the limitations we have with the gear. So let me move on to the next one. All right, so the next photo here, that looks pretty cool. That's, I don't know where it's at, but it looks good. That's Poseidon there with his seahorses and whatnot. Lights, traffic going by, that looks pretty good. I would have liked to seen a little bit more of the sky. As far as stock, I do sell some of these. There's artwork that might have to be editorial because that's somebody's artwork. I'm not sure. But I would say try it. The photo looks sharp. It looks good. Like I said, to improve on the composition, I would lift the camera, and you're still going to get the lines in the car, but you will get more of that up there. It's a good picture. Maybe turn it upside down so you get more of the light, and you can zoom in so that the artwork is a little bit more prominent. If by zooming in, that's going to get bigger, that's going to be and changing the angle. And what I mean by that is just a simple, you know, something like this. You zoom in, lift it so you get more of that, and then your artwork is going to be a little bit more dominant in the photo. This is it doesn't give me any information on the camera or lens, so I can't really get into that, but you're doing good. Keep going. Just remember, like, to keep the elements in the photo as bright as or as present as possible. That's dominant, so that should be seen. That's not, so that could be hidden. But I would lift the camera just a little bit to make a stronger image. All right, there we go. Now we're adding some concept with the strawberries. Yeah, that's great. That's a good idea, good concept. The slices, everything. I don't really see anything wrong with the image. That looks good. This one's a little dried out. Keep an eye on your strawberries and make sure, like this one here is rotting. Like, you know, you want things to look good. If someone's gonna buy them, they're not gonna use one that has mushy, moldy strawberries. You want good, fresh strawberries for somebody to buy it and use it. As far as a photograph, it's good, but your elements, your subjects are not the best, and you want things looking the best they can. That's if a restaurant buys this, they're just not gonna use it. It would be almost embarrassing to put that on the menu or to put that on an article. Yes, you might sell it as strawberries end of season or something, but if you want to generate more sales, you need good looking fruit, and this here sadly just not it. So the next photo. All right, so now we got more pills. These look good. The focus is fine. There's no logos, there's no nothing. These are concepts, these are photos that sell. I don't see any stray hairs on this one. Everything looks good, so absolutely, that's a great photo. If I was to improve, I would just add some contrast and maybe bring down some of the color. Every time you add contrast, you're adding color. And you don't always want to do that, but see, just a little bit of contrast makes them pop. It's almost not noticeable, but like I said, the photo is great. Well done. And as far as a stock photo, I think it would do great. Keep doing more like this. There's a logo here that would have to be removed. I just seen that in the back in the corner of my eye. There's a little logo here, so take care of that. And then yeah, I think the photo would do great in stock, because you know, that's a good concept. It's a good idea. It's in the news. It's relevant. medicines, medications, all these things, fentanyl, whatever's going on in the news, that would sell. Just remove this logo that's down here. All the other ones look great. All right, that's another great image. That's somebody hiking. There is a backpack. There is a logo here. I would remove that. That's pretty easy to remove. The photo is a little small. If I go to, it's 3 megapixels, so that's just the minimum with some agencies. I don't think it will get accepted because it's too small. But as far as a photograph, it's got great potential. You can write an article here. It's up and down, so you can use it for a cover, a magazine. It looks great. Just remember to remove logos. This one here, this one here, here. Lightroom does it very easy with the band-aid up here. And all you do is just click on it. And the new Lightroom has this version where it just kind of does it for you. I can't zoom in and do it properly because there's no detail. The photo is way too small. But as far as a stock photo, this would do amazing. Good composition. You got negative space. It would just be maybe recover some of this and a little bit more contrast. But like I said, the photo's too small to work with. Keep going. If you're into stock photography, want to get started, things like this would sell. Change the model. You could get 20 pictures from this series, just walk in different angles, different things, and I bet those pictures would do very well because not many people get to see this or get to go to places like this. So sharing photos, hiking, skiing, cross-country skiing, walking like this, those are really cool pictures that could actually sell over and over again. So great job. Let me go to the next image. All right, so the next one, this is another nighttime image. It's a statue. Like I said before, this, I think that's the same camera, same photographer. Statues like this belong to somebody else, the artwork. You can still sell it as editorial, and I've sold quite a few artwork like this. In this case, you can see there's another guy in the back. So to improve the composition, I would move slightly this way and try to hide that because that's a little distracting. You want to make your subject pop and be the only thing there. This thing's in the background, that's fine, that's normal. But this other statue in the background is just a little bit too distracting. So by moving a few steps to the side, to your right, you will block that one and get a much stronger and better image. It's very well done. I'm gonna just do a few quick things here. Sony, whatever, 12 megapixels, 3.2 seconds, ISO 160 f8, great settings. It's a little noisy in the back. It looks like you try to recover some of that, but it added some noise. So a little bit of noise reduction. I don't like to use it, but in this case it would help, and I think it did already. And yeah, I mean, it's a great shot. So if you just move a little bit to the side, it would give you more opportunities to sell the photo and start making some money. Yeah, that's the only thing I got. So let me move on to the next one. Oh, and the next one, this looks to be like the backside of that. There's more artwork here. So this one, I like the stars. There's star trails. They're moving. That's fine. That was 25 seconds, which is why you get those trails. But there's no strong subject. It's good composition, whatever, but you're not seeing his face. This is the guy that's in the front. That's what you're looking at. I see a guitar and a sombrero, but you're not seeing the face, which is your main subject. So that's where the focus is. She's slightly out of focus. The focus is here. You want to have that focus, the eye contact. You want to be able to see what you're photographing and be like, wow, that's awesome. I think this is the guy that was behind the ones that are over there. So I can see how that's a very busy scene and very difficult to get a clean composition. But move around, play around, try, see what you can get. If you're out there trying to get more stars, you could drop your aperture. Go to let me see what you can do. You can go to f3.5. Your subject, because it's nighttime, your subject is gonna glow, and then your stars are gonna be more prominent. I don't know how bright the lights are on the subject, so if you're trying to get the stars, you might have to blend a couple of different images. But if you try 20 seconds, f3.5 at ISO 100, you might get a brighter sky. I'm just not sure about the lights on the subject, but this one's not gonna do much. It's not a great photo because your subject is turned around and you can't see his face. But this one was way better. So keep trying, try to get that guy out of there. Keep practicing, you're doing good. The focus is good, but the composition is lacking because you can't see your main subject. So that's the last photo, guys. I am gonna start changing things a little bit because I'm getting more and more photos. This is 23 pictures. I'm gonna be adding a little bit more, and maybe I'll do 2 videos a month instead of just 1. I have enough photos for another 4 or 5 review videos, so keep sending them. Here's the email. Just do me a favor and only send 1 or 2 because there's a lot of people waiting, and I do want to get through every image that's been sent to me. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna prioritize people or photos from viewers that support me on Buy Me a Coffee. I've had a lot of people that have bought me coffees lately, and I truly do appreciate it. That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna review your photo if you don't donate to the channel. No, that's not what I'm doing. These videos are a lot of work. It takes a long time to put together and to film and to make sure that I'm giving you good advice. There's other photographers out there that do reviews for a full portfolio or 10 images, and they charge up to $200 for a session. That's not what I want to do yet. If you have the ability to donate or if you want to, then I will push your pictures forward and then go that way. This is not necessary. I will get through every image, but if somebody supports my channel financially, then I'm gonna push those pictures out there because, I mean, it makes sense. You're supporting me, you're helping me, so I am going to give you something in return besides the information and time that takes to put together. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye. feel like I'm losing my voice and I ran out of water.